Danielle Smith is going all in. You cannot accuse her of her not doing her job. She is taking Donald Trump at his word and making sure she secures her portion of the border between Alberta and Montana. She's been going down to Mar-a-Lago. She's been talking to senators. She's been talking to different decision makers and trying her best to make a case for Canada to avoid these 25% tariffs. In her latest press conference, she mentioned how, you can keep talking about securing the border. You can keep talking about doing these things, and you can also talk about threatening the United States. You can choose to do what you want to do. But the reality is it means nothing if you don't show what you're doing. And as I said, she is doing her job and doing it very well. Here's the clip of the presser where she hits at the point that we need to show off what we're doing.
Those patrols in Manitoba a couple of days ago and in Alberta today. So I think that there has been a sense of urgency. I think perhaps everybody's come to the realization that, especially what we've seen in the last week, is show me, don't tell me. And so now we're showing. Show me, don't tell me. And oh baby, did Danielle Smith take the show me to another level. She knows who she's dealing with. She knows that she's dealing with a man who loves deals. Knows she's dealing with a man who came from the reality show industry. Show me, don't tell me. And oh baby, the Danielle Smith put on a show. She put out this post yesterday saying Alberta is serious when it comes to border security. We're taking action to crack down on fentanyl, trafficking, and illegal migration with real action. Our new interdiction patrol team is now on the ground along with the Canadian-U.S. border by adding 51 Alberta sheriffs, 4 patrol dogs ready to track and take down threats, 10 cold weather drones for 24/7 surveillance, 4 narcotic analyzers to detect and stop deadly drugs in their tracks, and more tools to keep Albertans safe. My sincere thanks to Minister of Public Safety Mike Ellis and all the Alberta sheriffs for leading the charge and making sure criminals get the message. And look at the photos that she posts. Just a stance and making sure she's getting photos of strength, of security, and getting the point across that they are taking this seriously. I watched this and saw this and I was like, dang, show me, don't tell me. She's right. And she's showing. Make sure to get all the photo ops. Get all the things that we're doing. Show our drones off. Show the dogs. They're sniffing things and doing stuff. We're looking at 18-wheelers. Make sure we show everything. And she didn't stop there with this post. She even went so far as to drag Fox News and Fox Business up to the border to show off everything they've been doing. Again, she is going full on. I know how to get to this man. I know exactly what needs to happen. He speaks the language of showmanship. So let's put on a show. Show him what we're doing here.
Hi, good morning there, Maria. Canada is America's biggest trading partner. Goods and services flowing across this northern border here, tally more than $900 billion in a single year, according to the latest government data. So that intention from President Trump to impose a 25% tariff on Mexico and Canada, garnering a lot of attention here in Canada and a lot of immediate action from the federal government as well as from the province of Alberta, where we are. The province's premier, which is similar to a state's governor, called for yesterday the appointment of a national border czar, which would serve as the counterpart to our Tom Homan. Premier Danielle Smith talked with us earlier this week about Alberta's efforts to meet Trump's concerns about securing the border by investing roughly $20 million of provincial funds to secure Alberta's portion of the border that it shares with Montana. Listen here.
We've already taken action in Alberta to make sure that we're shoring up as much as we can to have the dogs at the border and the commercial vehicle inspection and teams of sheriffs and drones. Though that's what I think the president wants to see, is that we're taking it seriously, that we're going to stop the flow of drugs and guns and people across the borders.
So Alberta's new funding is allowing the province to deploy
its
own sheriff's deputies across Alberta's portion of the border, a 200-mile stretch here. It's also allowing drug-sniffing dogs, thermal imaging technology, and drones. And we talked with Alberta's Minister of Public Safety yesterday, and he tells us they are stopping the flow of drugs and fentanyl across the border.
I would say President Trump, I can tell you right now, having worked with these wonderful men and women that are in the Alberta Sheriffs and the RCMP and Canada Border Services, I can tell you this border is secure.
This is awesome. This is great television, isn't it? This is awesome TV. Get this guy on TV, show all the border security behind him, and say, Donald Trump, we're taking this seriously. Consider this border secured. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Holy jumping. But this is the point I'm getting at. Show me, don't tell me. She took that very seriously. So she took to X, posted some photos, got some photo ops going, brought Fox News, brought Fox Business up to show and have them do video footage of what they're doing, explain how they're trying to take it seriously, what they're doing at the border. This is a full-on, full-fledged media blitz. And this is exactly, believe it or not, the exact language that Donald Trump speaks. And I'll admit, as a user experience designer, someone who spends time analyzing human behavior and making sure I design software that really caters to them, so you have to understand the needs and how people tick. This is a absolute masterclass of understanding your target audience and making sure you communicate the message properly so that they understand it. She didn't stop there, though. She went on Newsmax for 7.5 minutes to explain what they're doing, what they're trying to address, and again, making sure the message is getting to the American people of what Alberta's trying to do, and also what Canada is trying to do.
Special teams to be able to go to the border, sheriffs who are going to be armed with border dogs so that they can do the sniffer test to see if there's any drugs. They're going to be trained in commercial vehicle inspection. We've got 10 drones that are all-weather drones, and the federal government has added a Black Hawk helicopter, which has started patrolling our border as of yesterday. There were news stories about it. We did take a news team down yesterday so that they could see what we're deploying, and we're making those images available. But we are serious. You'll probably see in the news as well, we finally prosecuted three individuals behind a fentanyl super lab, and they got 18 years in jail. And so we're taking this seriously. We've got a couple of other major super labs that our law enforcement in Alberta have busted, and I hope to see the same results. We don't want our people killed by these bad guys either. And so we've been taking action on this for a number of years now, and we want to work with our American partners to show how serious we are.
Merchants of Death. That is the group she's referring to that they just clamped down on and seized a bunch of drugs from. Police say they seized 31 kilograms of fentanyl and its precursors, as well as 7,600 kilograms of chemicals used in fentanyl production. The estimated street value was calculated at $300 million, sentencing them to 16 years in prison. If you listen to Justin Trudeau's press releases and see him in his interviews, he says, fentanyl's not that big of an issue. It's not as bad as other countries. Is that what Donald Trump asked? He didn't ask would he ask if you were worse than Mexico? No, he said, stop the fentanyl coming over the border. And this brother's making excuses. But Danielle Smith jumping in and showing we are taking this seriously. We were busting drug labs. They busted 3 or 4 drug labs. They know what they're doing. They're doing their best. You cannot fault Alberta and all. If the 25% tariffs come, there is no way on God's green earth that you can blame Alberta and Danielle Smith for it. You can 100% blame Ontario, because this whole shindig and rhetoric of unhelpful conversation stemmed from Trudeau and Ford through and through. So do not get it twisted. I love the effort she's putting in. I love what she's trying to do. And I love that they're seeing results in Alberta right now. This is great. And as we're starting to see these images come out, and as these conversations are persisting with Trump's administration, and as Danielle Smith is pleading the case of Canada and Alberta to Donald Trump, he might be slightly changing his tune. Trump aides hunt for 11th hour deal to dial back Canada and Mexico tariffs. President Trump's advisors are considering several off-ramps to avoid enacting the universal tariffs on Mexico and Canada that he had pledged, according to people familiar with the matter, even as he reiterated Thursday that the tariffs are coming. The situation is fluid, and Trump still may go through with his vow to slap 25% across the board levies on imports from America's 2 largest trading partners. The president has consistently said he would do so by Saturday. But amid ongoing negotiations with Canada and Mexico, the administration appears undecided on whether to impose tariffs on all imports from those countries. The people familiar with the matter said, adding that administration officials are preparing to opt for more targeted measures instead. Trump is still likely to announce some sort of trade action by Saturday, but it may only affect certain sectors such as steel and aluminum. Trump may also include major exemptions such as oil, and tariffs could be issued using existing legal authorities instead of more novel approaches officials had previously floated, according to people with knowledge of discussions who stress that no final decisions have been made. So this is where we're at. We're getting more of a clear idea of what's going to be coming on Saturday, aka tomorrow. Will it be the full 25% tariffs, or will it be a mix and match? More targeted approach, more thoughtful approach from Trump's side. We'll see. But as I said, through this whole time, I'm 100% Danielle fan on this one because she's pouring her blood and guts for this country. And at the same time, Alberta. All I can say is thank you. Thank you for doing your best and taking the bullets and being such an amazing representative for us here in Canada and for the people. Even Doug Ford is changing his rhetoric a little bit. And this was posted on Thursday. I've been pressing the Trudeau government for years. Canada needs to do more to secure our border on both sides. It's why Ontario stepped up with Operation Deterrence. Now 200 dedicated officers working with fixed-wing aircraft, helicopters, drones, boats, and off-road vehicles have put in nearly 10,000 hours to detect, deter, and disrupt illegal cross-border activity. This is a lot more effective than take all the American alcohol off the shelves. Buy French's ketchup. We need to turn their power off. It's always been about the border. And you guys got all bent out of shape, being in your feelings, and adding so much vitriol and confusion that really hurt the Canadian population, as well as hurt our standing in our negotiations with the Trump administration. Y'all showed our hand very clearly. It wasn't helpful. We have jabronis over here doing TikToks, trying to act tough, tearing Nazi flags.
How you live it? 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper, underground method. How you live it?
This guy. Like, this guy's doing 16-year-old TikTok garbage. That's why you'll never be Prime Minister, Jugmeat. You are so unserious. And this sums up the Gong Show in Ottawa. But hope is here. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll see you this afternoon. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out.